We are now, in fact, cutting across to some breaking news that we are getting on the broadcast. We are learning that Iran's Assembly of Experts has chosen a new supreme leader for Iran, and they now plan to announce this decision soon. Iranian media is also reporting that Iran has chosen its next supreme leader, but no name so far has been specified. Let me take this across to my colleague Sanjay Suri, who's now with us on the broadcast. Sanjay, this was the big anticipation because an announcement came in from Iran that these next 24 hours is when we'd see a formal announcement of who takes over the mantle next after Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Earlier, of course, there were names of his son, Mujtaba, that were doing the rounds, but now we seem to be going with altogether a different name. What do you make of these developments that are emerging out of Iran? No capitulation as the US and Israel might have wanted. They, in fact, are now on course to announce their next supreme leader.
Well, that announcement is expected, but again, there is a question when it will be timed and how somebody will be named. If someone will be named at all, it may be no surprise that they announce that they've taken a decision, but they are not going to name someone, because already ahead of this, Israel has said that whoever is named will be a target, and not just that the person named as leader will be a target. People in the council who are engaged in the process of selecting this leader are also targets. So there is from Israel a death warrant hanging over all of them. At the same time, there will be a limit how far Iran can restrict itself. If Iran sends out a message that it has a leader but is too scared to name him, that's not going to do Iran much good either. We certainly are very likely to have a name, and this time, without doubt, they will be more careful where this person is located or hidden. Khamenei was in his own house, in his own compound, and clearly a sitting target for the Israeli strike that took him out along with all the leadership and his family. So there will be a lot of security steps necessary before this new leader is named publicly. But clearly a target for the Israelis and Americans, and a shadow of death will be hanging over this new leadership. And there is further a political question. If this leadership, say, were to be attacked, then you have another set of leaders. How long can this go on? And if it goes on and on, it's disastrous for Iran, needless to say. But at some point, somebody in Israel and the US will need someone to talk to. And if there's nobody left, how does this then go forward?
We're talking about the US and Israel. In fact, America has gone on record and said that we will decide on who is going to be the second in line after Ayatollah Khamenei's killing. We were about to decide, but those people also ended up getting killed. So these are very dramatic statements that have already come in from Washington, Sanjay. The fact that Mujtaba's name was doing the rounds, but we all know how as far as supreme leader's position in Iran is concerned, they do not look at bloodline succession, that these are dire needs. But dramatic developments continue to emerge even as the funeral of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been postponed. We do know how the entire Iran was supposed to be assembling in Tehran for the funeral, which would go about for 3 days. But they also, in fact, did not throw caution to the wind, and that's why possibly that postponement really was announced, because they did not want so many people assembling at one location that there could be sitting ducks because of this pounding that continues from Israel and America. But even while that is happening, we do see how they are saying that within 24 hours, they'll come up with the name, and the formal decision, the formal announcement is going to be made to the world. What do you make of this, considering the Assembly of Experts, this body that's responsible for, in fact, coming out with that decision, while it was taking that decision, also it was bombed in Com?
Well, so the Assembly of Experts has come to a conclusion. They say now they have a name, and that announcement will be made in due course. One would expect shortly enough. Then there is a question, really an odd sort of question. Who decides who will lead Iran? Will it be the Council of Experts? Will it be the Iranian regime in place with support, needless to say, from the IRGC, or will it be Trump who decides, as he insists that he must? This is a unprecedented sort of question. Well, we shouldn't say unprecedented. We saw what happened in Venezuela, but certainly unprecedented for Iran. It's not likely that there will be public support to a great extent within Iran for letting this be decided by the US. If the US decides to name a certain person that Trump likes and Trump thinks is a good guy for the job, then are the Iranians going to accept this? Whatever their anger with the regime in place, it's not likely that that will express itself as an abandonment of the entire Iranian process, where the country chooses its own leader, that we can't do it. If we choose somebody, that person will be killed. So Trump, okay, you name somebody, be happy, let us live. This is what Trump wants. This is not the way Iranians are. Iranians are a very proud people. It's a very refined society. They are not likely to capitulate as a people as any more than the regime has as the government of the day.
Right, absolutely.